feeling we're not in Brooklyn no more.
They're brothers. They're plumbers.
Oh no. Mario! Luigi!
They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess and a mystical meteorite.
It's incredible!
That gives anyone who possesses it the power to rule the universe.
Get me the rock! Come and get it, lizard breath!
Now, they must rescue the princess.
Alien species escaping.
And make it safely back.
Later, alligator.
To our world.
Hello and welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for the 1993 video game adaptation film Super Mario Brothers. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blatt.
It's a me.
Wow, that's a really great impression. So of course we've got the new Super Mario movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie set to release in cinemas, but why not go back and watch a film that's going to celebrate its 30th anniversary very soon? Set back Mario movie, set back all video game movies several years, I would imagine. A critical and commercial failure, grossing $38.9 million worldwide against a $42 to $48 million budget. So yeah, let's just jump straight in because this is going to be an interesting discussion. So please be aware we'll be spoiling. Please we'll be discussing what do I normally say?
Toad dies at the end. Please be aware we'll discussing.
Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about plot themes and ending of the film. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. With that said, let's jump to our discussion of Super Mario Brothers. Directed by Rocky Morton, Annabel Jankel. Screenplay by Parker Bennett, Terry Runté, Ed Solomon. Based on Mario by Nintendo. Starring Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, Dennis Hopper, Samantha Mathis, Fisher Stevens, Fiona Shaw, and Richard Edson. Brooklyn plumbers Mario and Luigi get the shock of their lives when they discover a parallel world populated by the intelligent descendants of dinosaurs. It seems they weren't destroyed by a meteor millions of years ago, but hurled into another dimension, and now they have plans to rule over our world. It's up to our unlikely heroes to battle the evil King Koopa and his Goomba guards, free the beautiful Princess Daisy, and save mankind in this adventure of a lifetime. Dylan, what'd you think of the 1993 film Super Mario Brothers?
I remember when I was a child, when I was like 10, 11, I don't know, maybe younger, 9, 8, I don't know. At some stage, my father goes, they did a Super Mario Bros. Movie. And I go, oh my God, can we please watch that? We rent the VHS that weekend, put it on, and I hated it so much. I hated every moment. I'd been playing this shit on my Game Boy Color to like these cartoon characters. I was expecting a good fun time. Instead I got whatever weird shit this is. I think in another world, this movie, if it wasn't based on a game, would be sort of adored as this wacky 80s movie that would have like a rabid fan base and whatever else. And that's fine. But the fact is, it's based on Mario, one of the biggest video game franchises of all time. Everyone knows who fucking Mario is. My mum knows, my grandma knows, like everyone knows Mario, if you're American. And yeah, there's just nothing of it in here. Like, just look at Toad, look at Yoshi. Like, what have they done to my boy? You know what I mean? Like, they fucking massacred him. I don't know what the idea was. It was just like, let's take this kid's family franchise and just try and turn it into a weird, like, PG plus thing targeted at, I don't know who the fuck this is targeted at. I don't know. It's bad. I don't like it. I'll never watch it again. I would have never watched it again unless you'd asked me to, and I wasn't happy to watch it. But I did. I fell asleep. I had to later go back and find where I was up to and then rewatch back through that. Because when I woke up, the credits were rolling. And I was like, fuck, it's over there. I was like, God damn it. I should go back.
I don't remember how it ended.
Yeah, I was like, if you ask me a question, I'm actually going to forget what happened in that last 20 minutes. Because I didn't watch it. So I went back and watched it. Bad movie. Double thumbs down. Would not recommend.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting to discuss the thought process behind it than the actual film itself. Because it is just not good. Uh, yeah, they don't respect the property in any sort of way at all.
The tagline on the poster: "This ain't no game."
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is no game. Yeah, it's such a weird. It's interesting that you say it would be. If it wasn't the Mario property, this would be. Maybe you would have stronger feelings about it and kind of. But because it is Mario, I think the idea of there being an alternate universe in which dinosaurs survived and they're wanting to come back, that is an interesting idea. Not really an interesting idea for a Mario movie.
Yeah, but imagine like you're sitting down to watch. Yeah, so you literally as you did, you're like sitting down. You're for the first time. You're about to watch this because you've never seen this before. You're like,
No, I've seen this before.
Oh, have you? Okay. So if you've never seen it before, you press play. You're like, I'm about to watch a Mario movie. Wonder how it's going to start. Like, will it start in like with the King Bowser? Like, Mario? What are we starting with? Some plumbing over here? The movie starts like fucking dinosaurs. Remember when those motherfuckers died? Imagine.
Imagine. It's a meteorite.
It's fucking wild.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. There's so little like everything there's so little stuff that's connected to Mario the video games. Other than some characters' names. The big bag is Koopa, which is one of the most generic enemies in the entire game.
No, it's King Koopa, which is Bowser.
Is it really though?
That's what he was called before before they changed him to Bell. Like before, it's like there's some history there where I don't know if he was called King Koopa in America and then like Bowser or something. There's some like thing there, so it is Bowser. That's what he was supposed to say. Yeah.
Dennis Hopper's just trying his best. The idea that all these dinosaurs evolved into human-looking people, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I can understand for budgetary reasons why you would go that direction. But that's really weird. I understand Yoshi looking like that in this universe. He's not going to be, adorable in any sort of way, but it is kind of sacrilege across the board. There's just so many weird directions that they take this. They've got a bunch of women getting kidnapped, which I guess is actually appropriate for the entire series.
I mean, there's a bunch of deleted scenes. But
those are all the princesses that were in other castles.
There's a bunch of deleted scenes where Mario and stuff go to strip clubs, apparently. So,
I think I don't hate the Mario Luigi relationship.
Mario.
Mario's just the ridiculousness, and I think they played them reasonably well for what they're asked to do. Bill Hoskins and John Leguizamo. It's just the whole structure of the film is so weird, and why would you adapt it in this way and have this whole sci-fi elements? I guess it feels like they watched Blade Runner or like somebody had like a cyberpunk dream or something, and that's what he was going for. The directing team anyway. It's just bizarre across the board. It's so weird to see Fiona Shaw in this movie as well. It's like, wow, crazy how far you can come from being in something like this. I guess the only kind of iconic moment is they put on the overalls and it's like, oh, that's what they look like in the game. It's like, that's about it. That's like the only like one-to-one thing you could possibly pull. And even that's kind of weird. And their big thing is we made all the pipes cold.
My favorite random bit tie-in is there's cheaps and there's big cheaps in the movies, right? Which is in the games, which is the red fish that jump up and stuff. So in the movie, they translate that to a character called Big Bertha, which is the woman in the red dress. It fucking flies great. What?
She's got massive boots.
Yeah.
Jump boots.
Sure.
It's such a weird movie, and the big fight on the conveyor belt. And the weird, the CGI is not fantastic, obviously, being a 90s movie. of them getting disintegrated to between each dimension. Them turning the mayor into a chimp. You know, it's just a weird movie, and I admit I'm disappointed there was no follow up because it does end with like the classic '90s moment of the character coming back and coming busting in like, I need you to come back, and it's like all action does start up.
Thank God.
Come
I want
on.
to watch more of these. Fucking hell.
I mean, if it was a completely different movie and not a Mario property, I would be on board with a second, just to see what craziness they could possibly have come up with. But yeah, Dylan, how does this make you feel about the upcoming movie?
I'm very excited for the upcoming movie, and this movie affects my feelings on that. Nothing. There's nothing that doesn't exist. They're not related. Doesn't matter.
I know. Yeah. It's interesting purely from the fact of obviously this being so reviled, it kind of did set back any video game movie adaptations. And set video game. This probably is one of the first ones that set the curse of movie adaptations. It's been since broken of them being terrible. So, any final thoughts on this movie?
No, don't watch it. If you're listening to us and you've never watched it, don't watch it. If you've watched it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is there anything redeeming about it?
No. Look at Yoshi.
I think he's a dinosaur.
It's fucking trash. They're turtles. They're fucking turtles. They're
This is dinosaurs before Jurassic Park. I think it looked
turtles. No, trash movie.
Yeah. What about all the Goombas like dancing?
No.
Come on. You can't nerf Joy.
No.
The big set piece, they just suddenly has to come on for some reason.
Look what they did to Toad. Look what they did to my boy.
They brought vegetables, even though, after thinking they're going to feed a raw meat, Crazy. All right. Let us know what you thought of Super Mario Brothers by going to explosion.com/Twitter or jump to Discord at explosion.com/Discord.
I'm happier to know if you haven't watched this.
If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars. Anywhere can leave 5 stars. Or just tell people about the show. And if you enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. Be sure to keep subscribed to this podcast feed because we will be doing our review of the Super Mario Brothers movie in the coming weeks. So yeah. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
Super Mario Brothers. This ain't no game.